And the last 15 minutes before the program finishes, there will be a question and answer session. Please write your questions for the session on the chat. Okay, so let's start now. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Christine. I'm from Indonesia and we moved to Finland last year. I became a member of Mothers in Business last year and started to volunteer in MiB International May this year. I am a mom of 12-year-old girl. And this is my co-host, Anita. Anita, please.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Anita. I'm from India. I'm living in Espoo with my family. I have 2 kids. I have engineering background with 5 years of teaching experience. And currently I am passionate about data analysis and machine learning. I am a member of Mothers in Business since June this year. I have been actively volunteering in Mothers in Business International in the event management team. And I'm glad to co-host with Christine today. And I welcome all the participants to this webinar once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brief introduction about Mothers in Business. Mothers in Business is a network supporting career-oriented mothers balance work and family life since 2015. We have active members about 300 and total members are more than 4,500. We promote the role of mothers in labor market, in working life and society. We support networking, skills development and career advancement. We offer networks, professional help, advice, events on different topics to help working mothers to grow and develop their skills and level of integration to Finnish work society. We have language cafes to practice Finnish language and mingles. More about MiB International can be found in the Facebook page, which will be posted in the chat. All our events are mostly open to everyone. And now I invite Kati Reijonen from Nordic Fit Mama to present this webinar on menopause and how to deal with it. Kati, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So I think we would like to start this webinar with a short, relaxing exercise. And there is a reason why we are doing this. And I will tell you the reason later. But now I would just like all of you to take a very comfortable position and try to keep your back as straight as possible. And close your eyes. Let your hands rest on your laps, your palms upward. And let your feet rest heavy. And now let's take 3 long breaths. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And then we can get back to our normal breathing rhythm. Now, let us relax our bodies. Let's relax our skull, our forehead. Relax your eyes, your face, your ears. Tune into the sensations you are having right now. Let go of any need of facial expression. Relax your mouth, your tongue, your chin, and your jaw. And you can tuck your chin in slightly. Let your arms rest comfortably Relax your hands and fingers. Relax your hips and your pelvis. Feel the gravity pulling them down to the center of the earth. Feel your spine reaching from the tailbone to the base of your skull, like a tree reaching for the sky. Relax your upper back, your lower back. Relax your chest and your diaphragm. Relax your belly. Relax your right leg from hip to toes. And relax your left leg from hip to toes. Feel the power of gravity as your whole body is relaxed, loose, limp, and very, very heavy. Let go of all expectations of what is going to happen next. Just let everything unfold as it does. We are not trying to do anything here. We are just being here together in stillness. We welcome everything that happens right now. There is no need to judge or label anything that happens or anything we feel. What is always perfect. What we have right here and right now is always enough because it's all we got right now. And now, with your eyes still closed, begin to give yourself some deeper breaths again, like breathe in and breathe out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, roll your shoulders, do whatever your body needs to do. You can even yawn. Yawning is very good for your brain and your whole body. It relaxes you instantly. And take your time, there is no rush. When you feel you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes, first with a downward gaze, and then, when you feel ready, open them up all the way. Thank you. Thank you for spending this time, peace and quiet with me. So let me now introduce myself because I haven't done it already. My name is Kati Reijonen and I am a writer, a content creator. And these days I'm also a menopause influencer. And I have a PhD in design, so I don't have a degree in health. So how did I become a menopause influencer? Well, that's a good question. I have a friend whose name is Riina Laaksonen, who is a personal trainer specializing in post-pregnancy and postpartum rehabilitation. And she has founded a company called Nordic Fit Mama that provides online training, particularly to fix the diastasis recti, which is like the separation of your core muscles, and your pelvic floor, because these areas of your body get damaged due pregnancy and delivery. So her clients usually have been women in their 30s or late 40s. But then she started getting older customers and clients having problems with their pelvic floor for instance, incontinence and uterine prolapses. And then, long story short, we started discussing how to help these women in their late 40s, early 50s. And we came up with the idea of developing an online training course for women who are going through menopause. And we launched this training a year ago. But what was very interesting was that when we were doing research for the training, the online course, we discovered that there is very little awareness about menopause. And even doctors don't always know much about it. And what's worse, many women themselves don't want to hear about it. They are embarrassed if a word menopause is mentioned. And this means that many women who go through menopause don't get help with their symptoms. So there is a strange taboo. Menopause is a strange taboo. People don't talk about it. People don't want to hear about it. The doctors are surprisingly unaware of it. And this means that women are sometimes rushed to hospitals with all sorts of problems that no one knows what the problem is. But then when they do some research, they find out that these women are going through menopause. So their estrogen levels are falling, and this creates all kinds of symptoms. So we can go to the first slide. The slide number 2, I'm sorry. Yeah, the second one. Yeah. So I'm now 62 years old, so I'm post-menopausal. So the thing is that when I had my menopause, I had no idea that I had my menopause. No one ever mentioned it to me. I had all kinds of symptoms. I had heart palpitations, insomnia, mood swings, period problems, but no one ever said anything. No one talked about menopause to me. So I was under the impression that a menopause is something that happens like this. Whoa, one day you start sweating and going crazy, and that happens when you are maybe 50, and then your life is over. You are old, unsexy, over the hill. So it was kind of shocking to me to learn that the menopause journey actually starts in your 30s. When you're around 35, your ovaries, you don't ovulate every month anymore. So your ovaries are kind of taking it a little bit easy. They are preparing themselves for retirement. So if we look at this slide, we can see the stages of menopause. So the first stage is pre-menopause. And this happens approximately when you are 35 years old. You still have your periods, and you don't have what is usually considered as menopausal symptoms. Then you enter the perimenopause. And this means that the term perimenopause literally means a period around menopause. And this is the period when you actually have the worst symptoms. The symptoms are caused by the fact that your ovaries don't produce estrogen anymore as they used to, and progesterone, which is the other important hormone here, and even testosterone, which women also produce. You can still get pregnant, you still have your periods, but you are undergoing big changes. And when I went through this period, I was in my 40s, I didn't know that I was perimenopausal because no one ever mentioned it. But I had period problems, heavy periods, irregular periods, mood swings, insomnia, all that. Now, perimenopause, it says here in the slide that it usually lasts about 4 years. It can last as long as 10 years. And it can start when you are in your early 40s, which is something that women usually don't know about. So then after this perimenopause, you enter to what is called menopause. And menopause is a situation when a woman hasn't had period for a year. And approximately this happens when you're 51-year-old. And after this, you enter to postmenopause, meaning that you don't have any estrogen anymore in your body, and you don't menstruate. But, and here's the bad news, you can still have symptoms. Many women have, and I'm sorry, there's a dog barking. I really cannot do anything about it right now. Many women keep having these symptoms, like hot flushes, for instance, which are the most famous symptoms, always mentioned as the symptom of the menopause. They can have them until their dying day, unfortunately. So that's like the story of the whole process. So can we get the third slide, please? Hello? Can we get the third slide? Yes, thank you. So I've been doing some search today in the internet looking for good graphics. So this one actually, I think it's quite informative because it kind of shows you the woman's whole life cycle. Because we tend to think that menopause is something that, whoa, just happens like that. But the thing is that when a woman enters the puberty, when she is around 12 years old and gets her period, that's where her hormonal roller coaster starts. And she enters this the light, womanhood, as we say. And I think it would be very helpful of not to think that we have these different periods in our lives that are completely different. I think it would be helpful rather to think that it's a process, and all our lives as women have to deal with hormones and hormonal changes. And mysteriously enough, the symptoms of when you first get your period, when you are in your early teens, the symptoms you have then are very much like the symptoms you have in the end of the cycle when you are experiencing the perimenopause. So you kind of have the same kind of mood swings and weird feelings and emotions. You can be very moody, and you also start kind of questioning your life, like, what do I want of my life? Because when you are around 50, that's usually a period when a person starts like reflecting her life, like, what have I done and what would I want to do still? Because women in their 50s are not old. They are usually on the top of their game. They are professionals, and they are not grannies sitting on a rocking chair. So that this image, I think, illustrates the whole cycle of womanhood. And I think that it's very important for us women to understand our bodies and the hormonal system that we go through and experience, because it helps us understand and accept what's happening to us and to deal with our symptoms. Can we get the fourth slide? So the common sort of how would I say, you always hear about these 34 symptoms of menopause. Actually, there are many more. I think that I always say that whatever strange feelings you have, or whatever strange symptoms you experience at that age, at 40 something, they are probably because of menopause. In this list of 34 symptoms, you can't find heart palpitations, I don't think, because I was trying to look for it, but I didn't find it on that list. But heart palpitations are very common for women at this period. I don't know if any of you have experienced these symptoms yet. But it would be good to know that what you experience is a natural thing. There's nothing to be too worried about. It's just a sign that your body is getting ready to be alive without estrogen. Now, a few words about estrogen. It's not one hormone, it's a group of hormones. So, and it's very important group of hormones. When the production of estrogen stops, the risk of some chronic diseases like heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, and osteoporosis get higher. So the change a woman goes through during menopause is quite radical, because estrogen is a very important group of hormones. Now, how do we deal with these symptoms? The best known way to deal with these symptoms is hormonal replacement therapy. When a woman is given synthetic or natural estrogen supplements, and sometimes also progesterone, to have the balance in your body, and sometimes even testosterone, because testosterone increases your sex drive. And some doctors prescribe that to women, although it's not very common, but it does happen. But not every woman wants to have hormone replacement therapy, because we know that it does increase the risk of breast cancer and blood clots. Hormonal replacement therapy used to have a very bad reputation. Women were really scared about, and even doctors didn't want to prescribe it because there were risks. They knew that there were risks, but now we know the risks are not that high. The risk of normal hormonal replacement therapy is about the same as when you have 1 glass of wine in the evening every day, because alcohol does increase the risk for breast cancer. And the breast cancers that hormonal replacement therapy increases the risk of are hormonal breast cancers, and they are not as dangerous as the non-hormonal cancers. So when thinking about this, how to treat, how to manage these symptoms, you have to sort of weigh the pros and cons and the risks and the benefits. Many women don't want to have hormones in their bodies, and I understand this. So what can they do? Well, the best thing they can do is pay attention to their lifestyle, because whether we want to hear this or not, healthy food and exercise, rest and sleep, and stress management are really good ways to manage your symptoms. Healthy food meaning lots of vegetables. We all know the basics of healthy diets, don't we? So that it's the same, like you just should eat more veggies and berries and fruits, and cut down on dairy and meat and processed foods. And you should have your exercise, at least 20 minutes of brisk walking a day. Even that is fine. You should get your sleep, and the sleep I know is tricky because menopause does affect on your sleep. The hormonal changes and particularly the hot flushes make it difficult for you to sleep. That's why you need to make sleep your priority. And this brings me to the one of the most important things is stress management. Now, this is the time in a woman's life. If you want to look at it from a positive perspective, this is a time when you can reevaluate your lifestyle and think about your life. How do you want to live the rest of your life? Because you are getting older, and you need to, for you to stay healthy, you need to start paying attention to your lifestyle. Sleeping is a tricky thing, as I said. You should make it a priority. Many Western people these days, they want to stay up late at night, watching, I don't know, Netflix and fiddling with their iPhones and stuff like that. But you really should get that 8 hours of sleep a night. So cut that social media time, Netflix time, and focus on make sleep a priority. And then stress management, because even though many women, when they are in their 50s, they are on the top of their game. They are, professionals, and they are working a lot, and they have responsibilities, and they have ambitions. But still, this is a time when you should consider slowing down a little bit and taking it easy, finding way to relax, to walk in the nature, to enjoy your family and friends, and just chill. So I want to look at this period as an opportunity for a better life, regardless of whether you are going through menopause or not. Can I get the next slide, please? Yeah, well, here we have it again. Stress is bad, and this is why we meditated in the beginning, because what happens is that when you get stressed, the levels of stress hormone cortisol increases, and cortisol literally eats estrogen. So you should really pay attention to getting enough rest and relaxation. And meditation and mindfulness techniques have been proven to be efficient in managing stress. One of the interesting things with menopause symptoms is that in different parts of the world, they report different kinds of symptoms. In Asian countries, the symptoms are less severe than in Western countries. And some doctors maintain that that's because the Asian women don't want to talk about it. It's like a taboo. They don't want to be too open about their intimate issues. But there are also views that say, or research that says that in cultures where getting older is accepted and people don't resist getting old, people don't have so much problems with menopause. So the attitude, the way we approach menopause, the way we approach getting older has an impact on the severity of the symptoms. So it's very much a mental thing. As Carl Jung, the psychoanalyst, said, what you resist persists. And I have just written a book about resistance, so I know a lot about it. So when you struggle and fight against something, it gets worse. So this is why meditation and mindfulness also helps, because mindfulness teaches you to just stay in the moment, not judging, accepting what is and not allowing things to happen, and being okay with the flow of life. Can we get the next slide, please? This is just a recap of what I just said, that meditation, the power of meditation comes from the fact that it teaches you to stay in the now, stay in the present. It calms you down, and it helps you to surrender to what is, whatever it is, and however you feel it. For instance, if you get a hot flash, it can be pretty awful, because maybe you are going to an important meeting, and all of a sudden you start sweating and your face is red, and everybody will see what's happening to you. And we know that many jokes have been made of women who are, sweating and red and going through the menopause, or experiencing the menopausal symptoms. So it's not an easy situation. But if you just in that moment can accept what's happening and embrace it, it becomes easier. And also another thing, talk about it. Like if you stay silent, if you don't talk about how you feel with your coworkers or friends or whoever you are with, and you are having the symptoms, they feel really hard. So you should be open about open about how you feel in any way. Like it's always good to be more open than reserved with your whatever is going on in your life and in your mind and in your body. And then the last slide, please. So here we have Michelle Obama, my heroine. So she had this horrible hot flash incident in the Air Force One when she was on her way to a very important meeting. And she has been very vocal about menopause and the importance of discussing and talking about it with our friends and family and co-workers. I think what she says here, when you think of all that a woman's body has to do over the course of her lifetime, going from being prepared to give birth to actually giving birth, and then having that whole reproductive system shut down in menopause, the changes, the highs and lows, and the hormonal shifts, there is power in that. And she has said that mothers should talk to their daughters about this, because mothers don't talk about these things to their daughters. At least my mother didn't, and I haven't even talked about it with my friends. I found that very interesting when I started thinking about my own experience, that I actually have never talked about this. I mean, all my friends, most of my friends are in their 50s or even 60s. All of them have gone through menopause, and no one talks about it. It's changing though, which is a good thing. Now there's more and more information, more and more celebrities are opening up on their menopausal problems, like Michelle Obama. So I think there's one more slide. Can I have that, please? Stay strong. The best is yet to come. There is a thing called the age paradox, according to which a person is at her unhappiest when she's 40 and the happiest when she's 80. I think this is an important lesson. Life doesn't get worse when you get older. It only gets better. Someone has described menopause as the tunnel to freedom. And if I had to choose one word to describe this life situation where I am in now at the age of 62 with adult children, and by the way, I'm going to be a grandmother probably next week because that's when my daughter's due date is. This is freedom. I am free to do whatever I want to do, and I have the courage and the confidence and trust in myself. I didn't have that when I was younger. Actually, when I think about the time when I was in my 30s, it was pretty awful. I had young kids. I was always so tired, always so stressed. I had to work, promote my career, because I thought back then that would be very important. I had the job, the kids, the home, everything, all these duties and responsibilities. It's so much easier now. So that's it, ladies. So I think there is now time for us to have a discussion. If you have something to ask or comment. And I'm sorry, I haven't given any lectures or anything in English for a long time. So it was a little bit of a pumped road, but I tried my best. I hope you understood me.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you,
Kati.
Kati.
Yeah, there is one question from Mina Kangasluoma. Are menopause symptoms genetic? It is, do you tend to have the same symptoms as your mother?
Well, that is a very good question. I think there could be some similarities, but I think it's more complex than that. I mean, some say that, for instance, your pregnancy is what your mother had, like it's like what your mother had when she was pregnant. I don't know if it's that straightforward, but I actually should check this because I don't have a good answer to your question. But I'm guessing here that it's possible that you have similar symptoms as your mother, but not necessarily, because you're part of your father's DNA. So
thank you. I think I will stop recording so that if there is like a bit more personal question, everybody will feel freer to ask.
okay.
What about that?